He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from the beginning to the end. Ecclesiastes is a book that spends a lot of time wrestling with life as we experience it. The writer observes the world carefully, its cycles, its struggles, its mysteries, and he keeps coming back to the same realization. Human beings don't see the whole picture. In chapter 3, the famous passage begins by saying there is a time for everything. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to weep and a time to laugh. Life moves through seasons, some joyful and some painful. Then this verse explains something deeper behind those seasons. He has made everything beautiful in its time. That doesn't mean every moment feels beautiful while we are living it. Some seasons are confusing, difficult, or heavy. But the verse points to God's ability to place events within a larger timeline where they eventually fit into His purpose. Think about riding your bicycle along a winding trail through the woods. When you're in the middle of it, you can only see the next bend or two in front of you. You don't see the entire trail from beginning to end. Sometimes the path climbs sharply or dips into rough patches that make no sense at the moment. But if you could step back and look at the entire trail from above, the twists and the turns would form a clear path leading to somewhere. And that's the perspective difference between God and us. The verse then says something else. He has put eternity in their hearts. Human beings have an awareness that life is about more than the immediate moment. People instinctively wrestle with questions about meaning, purpose, justice, and what lies beyond this life. That longing points to the fact that we were not designed to think only about temporary things. There's something within us that recognizes the ideal of eternity. But the verse also includes a limit. No one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. In other words, even though we sense that there is a greater plan, we are not able to fully see it. God sees the entire story from start to finish, while we see only small pieces along the way. For believers, this verse provides a helpful perspective when life feels confusing. Remember that God works through the seasons. Just as nature moves through cycles of planting, growing, and harvest, our lives also move through changing seasons that God uses for His purposes. Trust that God's timing matters. Something that seems unfinished or unclear right now may fit into a larger purpose that becomes clearer later. And accept that we will not always understand everything God is doing. Faith often means continuing forward even when we can only see the next stretch of the road. So when seasons of life feel uncertain or incomplete, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11 reminds us of something important. God sees the entire journey. And while we may only see the next turn in the road, He is shaping the whole path in a way that ultimately fits perfectly within His time. Well, we're halfway there, folks. Good old hump day. Halfway through the work week. Hope to see you here tomorrow. And until then, Allah willing, shalom, shalom.